Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we will learn how to use traditional locator such as ID, name, class name, link text or partial link text. For CSS selector and XPath, I have created separate videos. So let's start with this. I will create a class. I will name as locators, locators underscore traditional because we are going to use the traditional locators. Let me copy paste the code from my previous class so that we can finish this quickly. So I have created a WebDriver instance here and we are going to launch Web Edge Driver and I will be opening a Facebook page. So this is my Facebook page and I am going to automate this login part with the help of traditional locators. So let's find out all these locators here. What are the different values we are going to use it. So let me do right click and I will click on inspect. And you can see that I have this element here. So when we are doing inspect, or if you are coming from the developers tool, sometimes it happens you want your window on right side or left side. So how you can do that? On these three dots in your developer tool console, click on this one and then you can see that you can click on dock to right, bottom, left, or you can have it in a separate window itself. So depending on your screen element, whatever you want to capture, you can have your developer tool console on a proper position. So I want to use first ID. I want to show you first how to use a ID locator. So if you can see that ID is available here and the value is email. So let me use this value. I will type driver dot find element by dot. As we are going to use ID locator, I will use ID. And I have to pass the value of ID. What was the value? It was email. I will show it again. You have to click on this arrow, inspect your element, and then capture the value of your locator. So it is email. Now what I have to do after finding this element? Do I want to click? Do I want to enter some value? As it is an input box, it will need some value. So we have to enter some value here. For that we use send command, send keys. And then we have to write our value, whatever we want to send it inside. So I will type automation rail here, which is my channel name. And let's execute this one. So it is launching the Facebook and then you can see that it has entered this value. So that's we did with the help of ID locator. So now we will use the another locator. We will use name. So this is my Facebook page already open. I want to enter a value in password field. So I will inspect this password and we are trying to use name as a locator. Although it is having ID also, but for the practical session like how to use name, I just want to show you the name locator. So if we use name, what is the value of this? It is having the value as pass. So rather than this by dot id, we will use name here. As soon as I type this dot, you will see different option it is showing. So I will choose name. And then what was the value of name? It was pass, pass. So I will type that value here, pass. And then I will send, because it's again an input box, so I have to enter some value inside that. So I will enter some value inside that. Let me execute this code again. So you can see that in the first one, it entered automation rail. In the second one, it entered something, but it is showing me in the dot dot format, because this is the feature of this field, that whatever you enter, it will not show you the exact text. This is the feature of this field. That's why we are not seeing what it has entered here. So now let's use another locator. We will use class name this time. So if you see that I am having class name as inner text, or if I click on login button, I should ideally click after entering the email and password. I should click on the login. So we'll go in that sequence. So it's a button type. You can see that it is a button type, and then the previous one was input type. So the web element type was input. So in this case, the web element type is button, and it is having a name as property. So we can use this name, and then it is having a class also. Let's try to use this class. So I will add driver dot find element by dot class name. If you see that it is showing class name by, and then this is another class. So we have to use the first one, class name, which is showing as by class name, and the name of our class is. And what we have to do here, this is a button. So we will be clicking on that dot click. If you see that, as soon as I press, it is showing me a couple of options. So I will select click. So let's execute this test. It entered value in automation username, and as automation rail it entered value in password field, but it did not click on login button. Although these values, Facebook does not have any user with this name and with this password, but it did not click on this login, otherwise it would have thrown us an error. So let's see what happened. So we are getting an error here, compound class name not permitted. And why we are seeing this error? So whenever we use a space in a class name, we will get this error. So space in a class name is not allowed. You can see that this class is having a space here. That's why it did not find this element. So whenever you are using a class name, make sure there is no space in your class name. And I could not find out any element. I tried on couple of other website also, but all these element, wherever we are using class name, everywhere it is using a space. But I wanted to show you how to use that and what issue we will face if you are using a class name with a space. But this is the way to use the class name. So now we have to click on login. So what we will do, I will do right click. Not this one. So I will inspect it again, login. It has another property as name. So I will use that. Rather than this class name, I will use name by dot name. And what was the name? The name was login. I type login. Login dot click. So it will click on login button. So let's execute this one again. So this time you can see that it click on login button because we use a proper locator. Now we uh, we will use link text. For example, if you want to click on a link, then we can use link text also. Link text is another locator. How we will use it? I will enter some value here and then I will click on login. I will inspect this element. There is a link, this forgotten password is a link here. I will inspect this. And what is a link text? This is a link text. These are its properties. A is a tag, href is another property, but this is a text. So when we will be using a link text, we have to use the exact text. I will copy this and then I will write here driver dot find element by dot link text. And then we have to pass the text of the link which we are trying to find out. And what we are going to do with that element, we will be clicking on that element. So let's execute this test again. So it will enter value in username, password. It will click on login and now it will click on that forgotten account, forgotten password. Right? So there is one more locator, partial link text. Sometimes it happens that you cannot give the full name of a text or you want to use a partial name only. Then how we will be using it? Driver dot find element, then we will use by dot partial link text. This is another locator. So there are two locator for validating the text, for using the text of a web element, either full text or either partial text. This is for links. So what we can use from here? Forgotten account. I will inspect this one and then I will copy paste the text. And I do not want to use the whole text as I want to test this partial link text locator. So I will remove the first part. Either you remove the first part or you remove the second part, whatever the way you want to find out your element. You can use that. And then what I want to do with this element, I will be clicking on that link. So this execution is going very fast. Let me add some wait time here so that you can see where it is entering value, where it is clicking on the screen. Thread.sleep is a method we can use and then it takes millisecond here and it's giving me some warning that I have to add either throw declaration or I should add try catch. I will add a throw declaration right now. And then after each and every statement, I will add some time. I will add one second time after each and every step. So let's execute this test again. It has entered value in username, password. It has clicked on login. Now it will click on forgotten password. Now it will click on forgotten account. You can see that it is showing as find your account. So it did click on the forgotten account link. So we have covered ID, name, link text, partial link text, and we have covered the class name as well. I will cover CSS selector and XPath in another video because those are pretty big one and those will take time. That's all for this video. I hope you liked it. We'll meet in next session. Thank you.